Lego Monkie Kid has to be one of the most underrated animated shows I've ever seen, which is surprising because you'd think a Lego show would have more of a buzz around it. Monkie Kid definitely has its fans, and rightly so, because the show is amazing, but it deserves more. Everything about this show is just great. You wouldn't think a Lego show would be anything more than a surface level look at friendship and camaraderie and all that stuff that's primarily focused on in media made for the younger demographic. And while this show definitely has that, it also has so much more going for it, which is why I'm making this short little video to tell more people about it. I'm gonna try break it down into segments, so hopefully my thoughts are more concise. Let's start with something that's no doubt already caught your attention. This show is beautiful. Day by day, it seems Flying Box Studios is the Rumpelstiltskin of animation. Everything they touch turns to gold, and it's just pure eye candy. Their work on Rise of the TMNT, Glitch Text, and this show observably prove that they're a rising powerhouse in the animation industry. They're also currently doing work on Moon Girl and in the not so far future, Avatar, which I'm really looking forward to. But back on Lego Monkie Kid, the storyboarding and fluidity in every movement, or lack thereof, is just great. It always adds something to the mood of the scene, especially in the action-oriented ones. No doubt it's taken inspiration from anime, some parts even being not so subtle references to more well-known animes. I love this. Seeing Western shows take inspiration from it is something that I'm more than happy about. I know animation isn't the most important thing in the show, but look at this opening, goddammit. There are some scenes where the animation has no reason to go as hard as it does. Something as simple as two characters playing table tennis will be made into a whole-ass anime fight, which is just amazing. I really can't do it justice. Watch the show and experience it yourself. While I'm on this topic, I might as well talk about the art style too. Now, I haven't watched Ninjago. I might at some point, but not now. I'd assume when someone mentions something along the lines of a Lego show, this is what your mind would go to. A 3D show with yellow faces, most of the characters having similar body types and faces, you know. Lego Monkie Kid takes this idea and kicks out the window like a tenant late on rent. They decided to go with 2D for this show, and it's way better for it. Flying Bug does have its toe in 3D animation, but 2D is clearly their strong point, in my opinion. It's a very unique looking show, in that it distinguishes itself from other Lego shows, but still has the benefit of using the Lego aesthetic to its advantage to create more interesting visuals. What's better than summoning a mecha? Building a fucking mecha. It's just great. I commend thee. It must have been really difficult to strike a good balance between stylized 2D animation and Lego, but this pulls it off with flying colors. As you might have already guessed, Lego Monkie Kid is based on the Chinese novel Journey to the West. Now, I haven't read it, but I know it's a long ass book. Most of my knowledge of the story comes from overly sarcastic production summary of it, which is pretty good. I recommend it if you're like me and are too lazy to read it yourself. This show serves as a kind of sequel to the book, taking place years after the events of it. Sun Wukong is looking for a successor and wants to spend his days taking it easy. And considering the shit he goes through in the book, I do not blame the man. The successor in question is MK, a noodle delivery boy who works for his grumpy but well-meaning boss Pigsy, and chats it up with the local customer, the smart-ass Monkey King fanatic Tang, the gentle giant Sandy, and his hyperactive best friend with a fiery personality, Mei. A cast that seems quite familiar if you've read the book. With this solid cast, you've got a recipe for everyday antics as MK learns more about his newfound powers. At least, that's how it starts. I won't go into deep details, but several of Wukong's old foes make themselves known in the wake of the Monkey King choosing a successor. And the story doesn't take too long to become more serious and dramatic. I love shows like this, where seeds are planted in the early light-hearted episodes, which become amazing, worthwhile plot points later in the show. On that note, the writing in the show has no right to be as good as it is. The characters are so damn well written, which took me as a big surprise. Character motives are clearly defined, and if there's a chance of two characters having clashing ideas or goals, the show will not hesitate to take advantage of it, which I really appreciate. It makes for even more opportunities for great writing and drama. I can't go into details, again I think you should experience it yourself, but the bottom line is, this show makes a refreshing lemonade with what it's given, and I really hope other shows follow suit. While we're talking about well-written characters, let's talk about my personal favorite, Macaque. I am a sucker for antithesis villains, and Macaque is a prime example of a great opposite to a protagonist, or one of the protagonists. His motivation and characterization are top tier. Whenever he's on screen, you know it's gonna be a great episode. He's a fan favorite for a reason, and it's not just because he was voiced by Billy Comets, whose performance certainly didn't make me question things about myself. After Billy Comets unfortunately passed away last year, Macaque is now voiced by Alejandro Saab, who does a really good job taking the mantle. You can barely tell the difference aside from a few changes in inflections. The whole cast all around, in fact, do a wonderful job with the characters. Jack DeSena as MK, Stephanie Shea as May, Dave B. Mitchell as Pigsy, who after I found this out I couldn't stop imagining as Knuckles. And in perhaps the most genius casting decision I've ever seen, Sun Wukong is voiced by Sean Chamel, who also voices Goku, a character based on the Monkey King. That's big brain casting if I've ever seen it. So in conclusion, LEGO Monkie Kid is better than it has any right to be, with a poignant story, memorable characters, unearthly animation, and overall it's just a nice little package. The show is currently on its 4th season, all containing 10 episodes that are 11 minutes each. There are also the specials in between seasons that you'll have to watch in order to follow along. It's not too complicated, trust me. But yeah, that will do. I hope I convinced you to watch this very underrated show, or at least add it to your watch list. My next video will be continuing my Every Animated Film of the Year series, where we'll be going over the Mario movie. Until then, safe.